thought so too. I was like, I think I recognize you. Gotta come try tiny town.
Yeah, smaller here, absolutely.
So if you say you choose brick, everyone places brick. Okay. Why are you placing all these extras? Okay, so you can build these. So once you achieve one of these patterns, so say you got 2 brick and 1 glass, you sweep that and put a tavern in one of those spaces.
Oh.
Okay. Now, you can rotate these as much as you want. You just can't change the order. So I can tell you like that, or like that, or like that, or that.
So you can't play a red, green, red.
Flip them around.
No, you can't play a red, green, red.
Now, once it is a building, that space is locked. No resources go into it. Nothing can change. So you have to be careful so you don't lock yourself out of a building. Okay.
You don't know what that is? No.
So what you're trying to do, of course, is ultimately score victory. So cottages score you 3 victory points at the end of the game, but they have to be fed. So you have to have a farm for them. A farm will feed up to 4 villages. So that's great. So you have to balance both of those. Chapels get a bonus for number of cottages you have. Tavern, you have a bonus based on how many taverns you have in play. So you try a drunk strategy.
Wells, you need food for that.
Nope, you don't need
food for that. The only thing you need food for is the cottages or special parts.
Wells get bonuses for being next to the cottages because people like to be able to get water easily. Theaters are kind of neat. So for them, you take a look at the column in a row, and each unique building. So we have something like this. It could be worth 3 victory points. So it's potentially you could score 7 off of this if you got one of every
maximum
in those lines. Tough to do, but possible. Okay, and lastly, there are factories. Factories are the one thing that do not score victory points. When you build a factory, you choose any of the 5 resources. So say I choose wood. Whenever anyone else as master builder calls wood, instead of building wood, I can build any resource I want. So that gives you a lot of flexibility in building, but it's not worth any victory points in and of itself. So you've got to balance that out. Now obviously, if you're playing, say, a 2-player game, factory's not so useful. But for a big game like this, they can really pay off. Okay, so we'll say you're master builder since we're here first, so choose a resource.
What's neat is for each building shape, so like you see there's a tavern there, the green one. There's also a card for an inn, which has 3 in a row of different colors and has a different scoring method. So you can play with the tavern or the inn or another building. There's 4 of each type that you can choose from, so you got a lot of variety, like tons of different combinations you can play with. The ones we put on the table here are in general the easiest
to score. More than what we're seeing right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So like I'm saying, like right now, pardon me. So this is the building type. It uses that wooden shape. But there's also one called an inn. And the inn might require yellow, blue, green. And it has a different method of scoring. So for instance, the inn scores, I think it gives you a flat 4 victory points, but only if there's no other inns on the same row or column. So, you know, different methods of scoring. And you'll either use a tavern or an inn, or one of another type of that type of building. So you have lots of replayability. And
so you're not just limited to what you pull. Like you're not picking. There's 30 buildings to build, and you pick 10 for this game. You have options of building all 30.
No. You actually do choose. You choose one of each building type
before you start playing.
Before you start playing.
Okay.
Yeah. Except for the cottage. The cottage is a constant. It's always in the game and always works the same way. But yeah, that is basically Tiny Towns.
So you don't get this beautiful table.
No.
That would be amazing. Okay.
Oh, you don't get that, but you do get the cards.
Okay.
You get actual player boards. We're using the paper right now to kind of tell people about the game, teach them about the game. But you do get, a fully complete game in the box. And what's interesting about the game is it can be played sort of bingo style, where you could have a caller who's just naming the colors every turn. So you could set out like one box at this table, another box at this table, another box at this table, and have 40 or 50 people all playing at the same time, and then figure out who has the highest points. So yeah, it's really neat in that way that it can be played with a big group at a convention too.
Now, how many people can you play at once with one box?
Up to 6 people.
Okay.
It comes with a scoring pad as well for figuring out at the end. But yeah, that's
actually the bingo thing's pretty neat. If you think about it, if you have a lot of friends, You know, you have a bunch of people, let's all play together. Not many games can accommodate 10 people, you know, or more. So that's pretty cool.
That aren't inherently like party games. Like a lot of party games can, but a game that requires like strategic thinking, there's not many that can hold up.
Yeah.
2 or 4 player game, you either play 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 teams. When you play in a 2-on-2, you also use these darker spaces, but in a 1-on-1 you only use the lighter colored spaces to keep it more compact. The goal of the game is to control these different control points by getting your control markers on them. Of course, there's not enough room for everybody, so you're going to be fighting over some of them. The way you do that is there's 16 possible units in the game. You're going to draft 4 at the beginning and then try to make that work as an army. So you get all the chips for a unit, you take 2 of each and put them in your bag. On your turn, you're going to shake it up and draw 3 out. And that's what you're going to use to play on the board, attack, move, recruit other chips from the ones that haven't gone in your bag yet, and ultimately build your army. Every unit has something unique it can do. So for instance, the light cavalry can move 2 spaces instead of 1. Pretty simple. The archers can actually shoot and damage units farther away, but can't fight up close. So if you charge the archer, they're in trouble, right? Some of them, like the swordsman there, he can attack and then move, which is kind of unique. Most units have to attack and stay where it's not. So there's lots of different things the units can do, and you figure out how to use them in combination to make a stronger unit. And these are really high quality poker chips, made just like the ones for casinos, so they feel really nice. I'm going to steal this real quick. Did have a feel on this one. But yeah,
these are really nice.
It's really nice material. Yeah. And it comes with 4 bags, so you can have up to 4 people playing, and then cards that are references for what the units do.
Okay, so you start with, everyone starts with these cards already.
Yeah, you start with the cards because that's basically a reference, how does this unit work? So you always know. It's kind of like chess pieces, you don't even know what they do, but once you know what they do, you may not need the cards much anymore.
Again, games last.
This game, depending on how strategic and how much it goes, about 45 minutes. Yeah. We've had enough reviewers who felt that who compare the game to chess and things like that. We're thinking about trying to start up sort of a ranking system online so people can have their own personal ranking, play against people from different cities, and see how they compare and things like that. So, yeah, Warcraft's been doing fantastic for us. It's second third run is coming in now. So Space Base is we don't officially say this, but as someone described it as spacecraft, right? Because what you're going to do is you're going to roll. So you roll the 2 and a 5. So players can either take that as a 2 and a 5 or as a 7. And if it's your turn, you're going to get what's on the blue spaces. So, for instance, that's a 2. So you can get 2 income on that one or 1 income on that one. If it's another player's roll, you're going to take what's on the red. Now, the way you get that is by upgrading your spaces. So when you buy a card from the tableau and you put it on a space, it takes what's there and flips it over, and then adds it to what happens on another player's turn. So you can continue to build. So for instance, whenever another player rolls a 5, he's going to get an income and a victory point every time they roll 5. So you're constantly engaged on what your opponents are doing.
So you're never really sitting still waiting for your turn.
Right. There is no timeout. You got to watch all the dice. It's the first player to get 40 victory points with this.
This sounds really cool.
Yeah. Okay. And so there's different strategies. There's people who try to play the whole spread. There's people who build up numbers like 7 and 6 a lot because they get a lot more. Some people who try to build up 1 because you're almost always going to have 1 showing up in dice. Problem there is those generally don't give as much as say the 12, which almost rarely ever hits.
I was just going to ask, is the 7 and 6 don't give as great a reward as the other ones?
Okay. Yeah. But here's the interesting thing. The 12 gives a ton of rewards but doesn't hit much. But you can actually set up engines that will move your results. So like if you get these arrow cards, you can have the 11 move to 12. So
you see that he's got some here on the 4.
Yes, he does have a
the 6.
Yes, so basically what he can do is increase the value of a roll. So if he had a big 12 built up, someone rolls an 11, he can pop that, get the 12, and go to town. There's also a few cards that allow you to switch, like it says take your 11 and your 3 and switch everything that's in them. So now all that heavy stuff in your 11s can hit on 3s. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's got a lot of combos and engine building you can do. And that is Base.
And this is out already?
This is out already. We got an expansion coming in, I want to say March. Okay, so what the expansion is kind of interesting. The expansion is what we're calling a saga expansion. It adds a story where basically it gives you some preset rules and a preset of cards to use. You play through the first story, and then at the end of that, it's going to set up the next one, which you play through with different abilities and different things. And it tells the story of this big giant planet eater that's coming, and you as a group have to try to, you're all trying to win, but you have to try to stop the planet eater at the same time. And then when all that's over, you can just take those extra new cards, shuffle them in, and use it just like a normal expansion. Or you can separate it out and play it as a story.
Now, can you play that story again and again?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's fully resettable. It doesn't it's not like stickers. Like some of the games, you can just it even has a list in the back, like okay, put the cards together like this. But it does have some cards that say, you shouldn't look at this until you finish the other one, right? So that you can play through and have some reveals.
No
spoilers until you play through the whole thing. Smash Up is, if you're not, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but basically what it is, it's a card game where you have 20 card decks of different nerdy factions. Pirates, ninjas, zombies, robots, kittens, princesses, dinosaurs, you name it, right? Each of them has their own mechanical focus. So the zombies are all about getting cards back from the discard pile. The pirates are all about moving from one base to another and sailing. So if you put those two decks together and make zombie pirates, you move around and you get your cards back.
Okay.
But if you put kittens, which are all about manipulating other players, you put kittens with zombies, zombie kittens, they come back from the dead and can manipulate everybody. So whatever combo you put together is what you play, and you ultimately try to win on fighting for bases and get the most points. And I can show you some of these. And I definitely want to send you some. So this was the original, which had the aliens, ninjas, robots, dinosaurs, wizards, you name it.
Okay.
Had all of those in it. And then we've had various theme expansions. So we had Monster Smash, which had all of sort of your classic movie monster types, vampires, werewolves, mad scientists, is what we call the Frankensteins, and then giant ants. We had Pretty Smash Up that introduced the princesses, fairies,
kitten,
unicorns, and kittens. Just all kinds.
So these are all just take the base game and you just shuffle these in there.
Shuffle them all in there. And in
down.
fact, if you don't even have the base game and you've got 2 expansions, you've got enough for 4 people to play right there. You don't even need the base. You just put those 2 together. It's totally modular.
Okay.
How you want to play it. And then we did this introduced a new card set. We did our Big in Japan expansion. And the Big in Japan introduced these oversized cards called Titans, because you have to have the kaiju that stomp around. And so like the Mega Troopers, who are nothing like a TV show,
right.
Have a Mega Bot that can come in and fight and stuff. And the Titans were so popular that we did an event kit that gave some of the older factions Titans. So like the Pirates got a Kraken, and the Ghosts got a Cream Puff Man who can walk through the city and stomp everything. So it's a really goofy game, but it's a lot of fun, and it's very simple too, because there's only 2 card types in the whole game. There's minions and actions, and you play a minion and play an action, or not. You can just play one or the other, and that's it. But the fun of the game is in the chains you create. Like this minion lets me play an extra action, then I'm gonna play an action, then I play this action, which lets me play another minion. And you just create these crazy.
So
chains.
you have an array of cards in front of you all the time, or
you have a hand.
You build up.
You have a hand, and you're going to be drawing 2 at the end of every turn. Although some factions, like Wizards, will let you draw a bunch more. That's their focus, is draw and getting more. And then some factions, like Vikings, Vikings will actually pillage the other player's deck. It'll let you draw cards from their decks and add them to your hand, because why not? If they have it, I want it. So that's Smash Up, and that's actually that is our biggest single title.
I could tell by the amount of expansions you guys have developed.
Oh yeah,
it's a hot one.
It is a hot one. And Captain is Dead is a series that's doing really well for us.
Hey, Corey.
Are you familiar with Captain is Dead?
Yeah, I haven't played this yet.
Okay, so Captain is Dead is a cooperative game for up to 7 people.
Okay.
You are the crew of a starship, not unlike a ship on a certain TV show.
Oh, yes.
And the aliens began attacking you, and within the first 10 minutes, your captain was killed.
Oh my god,
so
you're
now,
dead already.
That's on me.
This whole crew of misfits has to pull it together and save the day. So everybody gets a character card. So one of you might be the chief engineer, another one might be the medical officer, another one might be the hologram, whatever, first officer, etc. And you all have different abilities that you can contribute to the team. What you're trying to do is to repair your warp core. Your warp core starts damaged. If you can get it repaired, you can escape. At the end of every player's turn, you flip over an alert, and the alert is the aliens attacking you. So the alert might say your shields go down by 10%, so you take your shields from 100 to 10, or to 90, rather. Now sort of the choices come in. So on your turn, You could run to the bridge and use the bridge to get your shields back up to 100%, or you could start working on repairing the jump core, or you could draw more skills from the central computer that'll help you later. And that's where the challenge comes in, because at the end of, not at the end of every round, at the end of every single player's turn, the aliens are attacking you again.
Gotcha.
So one might flip over and say, because at the beginning you have a system called the transporter. Transporter basically is free movement. Like, I use one movement, and instead of moving from one room to another, I go anywhere I want, because I can just beam. If the card flips over and says, your shields take 10% and your transporter's offline, you flip it over and no one can use it again until you repair it. But then the question comes in, is it worth repairing the transporter, or do we need to fight the aliens, or do we need to work on the jump core, because that's what saves us?
Pretty cool.
And as you make your way through the alerts, you eventually go from, you run out of yellow alerts, you get into the orange alerts, where it starts getting like
worse and worse.
Now internal comms is destroyed. You can't even repair it anymore, right? It's gone. And then once you get to red alerts, it's pretty much a crapshoot. One of them is going to destroy your ship.
Okay,
It just,
got it.
you know, you don't know when. So there's 15 different, no, I'm sorry. Yes, 15 different roles on the ship you can be. Everything from the counselor to the ensign.
So is that all
you know.
random ahead of time? Like
No,
who
you
you
can
are?
pick.
Okay,
You pick.
okay, you pick.
The randomization that you can use is you get each of the characters is in a different color based on what part of the ship they are. So the science
Got it.
officers are all green.
Okay.
The engineering is all orange. So you could give each player a color, and then they get to pick one of them from that group, and then you get a fairly nice balance of
Okay.
abilities. Or you can just let everybody pick whatever they want and then hope for the best, right?
Yeah, right.
We have no one who does any engineering.
Yeah.
This is going to be hard.
Yeah.
But you can still do it. It's
Okay.
just really hard.
What is the expansion add?
So the expansion is next week's episode.
Okay.
So on next week's episode, the crew got a new captain commissioned because they managed to escape. The new captain takes them out on their first mission, is promptly captured by the aliens and thrown on a prison planet. And to show you that they mean business, they execute your captain right away.
Oh,
So
no,
the
I had
captain
no
is
idea.
dead. Spoilers? Spoiler, right?
What's up with that?
It's in the title. The spoiler's in the title. So this game uses the exact same mechanical structure of the skills and the cards, but your job now, it's a sneaking game. You have to stealthily try to escape the prison and hotwire one of their shuttles to get away in.
So it's not an expansion.
It's not an
a
expansion,
brand
it's
new
a
way to
fully
play
playable
it.
mode.
Okay.
But you don't speak their language, and hacking into their systems is tough when you don't speak their language, so there's all these new mechanics you have to
Okay.
use. It introduces a couple of new characters for this episode. All the original crew is back, but their abilities have been altered just slightly. They still resemble their old character, but it's now to fit into this
Right,
scenario.
makes sense.
Right.
There's new aliens with new abilities, and in the prison cell with you when you first start is a hacker who had been captured somewhere else, and she's more than happy to join you if you'll take her with you, so she can be useful in getting into their systems.
Okay.
And then there's also an alien sympathizer who's kind of like the Worf, who can't attack or be attacked by the aliens, but also speaks their language and
Okay.
can help you.
Now, are
in that
those
way.
added just because of are they like handicap rules, or like, okay, we're gonna
No,
have the
no, they're not. They're just
Okay.
new and interesting characters
Cool, okay.
that you can play as. And then in the third one, which we're working on right now, those characters have now joined the crew and are now in the third game as well.
It's like
Cool.
next week's chapter.
Right.
Okay.
And we made some silly stuff, like there's a hologram in this one. So like the hologram can't be killed and he can't be stopped by aliens. Well, in this one, it says in the rulebook that the hologram had enough wherewithal to download himself into the prison computer. So if you're playing as the hologram, you begin in the computer core, but you can't move. You
Okay.
can't go anywhere and do anything until the crew hacks in. Then you can project
get
yourself
out.
and start
Okay,
doing
that's
stuff.
That's pretty interesting.
So we try to get some story going in
No,
it
it's
too.
cool how you're
So
carrying over the story.
Right.
And that's up to 7 players as well.
This is up to 7 players as well.
Sure.
Okay, wow.
And the third one, which we just started talking about, is going to be called The Captain is Dead, Dangerous Planet, where you get your third captain commissioned for this crew of goofballs.
Don't guess.
Yes. So, yes, it's your first away mission. So it's actually a shuttlecraft mission where you're on the planet. It's an exploration and tower defense game.
Oh, cool.
Because you're going to the aliens' planet, one of the planets they abandoned, to try to find out why they hate you so much. It's a research mission to find relics of their society. But when you get there, there's these big giant bugs, and it's like, oh, that's why they left the planet. So it's a bit of a Starship Troopers kind of tower defense game. And your new captain went to the Picard school. So when the giant bugs started coming over the hill, he tried to talk to them.
Yeah.
That didn't go well. So now the captain's dead, and you have to try to finish this mission and get away as well.
Very
sounds really
sharp.
And it what's really funny is, huh?
That sounds like a shot at Jean-Luc Picard to me.
No. And so and what's even funnier is the alien sympathizer. He actually attracts the bugs because they developed a taste for his species since they took over the planet. So there's all these little weird things, like they move toward him
Okay.
as much as
Oh,
they
so
can,
there's certain things
which
to
makes it
worry
a
about.
challenge.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
That's sure.
So
When's that one come out?
that one comes out next summer.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna do one of these a year. There's gonna be basically a new episode every year.
One of the games that I played was by AEG. It's called Tiny Towns. It's not out yet, but I was able to play a prototype of it. And basically, it's up to a 4-player game, and each person on their turn is the master builder, and they get to select a particular resource. So either stone, grain, lumber, brick, I think, and then there is something else. Glass, right? And so then you get to take this cube and you put it on this grid. So I'm assuming when the game comes out, you're gonna have like an actual play mat. But it was like a 5x5 grid. You get to place a resource on it, and there's a certain number of buildings in the game that actually I found out they change every game. So every building would take maybe like 2 glass and a stone resource. And once you completed that on your playmat, you could actually take the meeple of the building and place it on your town to start building your tiny town. Every resource or every building had different ways to get victory points. But the problem was, once I selected my one resource, everyone had to select that, and then it moved to the next player, and they would select something. So what happened was, everyone kept picking stone. I don't know why. So I filled my whole board up with stone, which did nothing. Maybe I'm just a bad builder. Who knows? But it was actually pretty cool, because it was kind of like a Tetris type feel, where you have to think ahead and plan where these pieces are going to form. But then once they form, you get to free up more space on your board to get points. So it was cool. And then at the point towards the end, they're like, oh, you can kind of play this co-op to win a $100 free gift certificate to Home Depot. And my friends kept picking stone, so I couldn't get the high score. Very upsetting. They wanted to win. I wanted $100 to bring home to my wife. So, besides that, it was a pretty fun game. I'd definitely try it again. It was quick, and I definitely liked the meeples. All the different buildings were different sizes, and I thought it was sharp. Pretty simple to do if your friends are willing to build your tiny town together.
One of the things they were talking about, though, in there was you're going to be able to play online. Like, they want to be able to have it so you can play with other people. You can play online with people and not necessarily be playing at the same time.
True.
So that was a kind of a cool feature, you know, like, no, I don't know any other game that advertises that or wants to talk about it.
Right.
So that was pretty neat, I thought.
I like it. I'm looking forward to playing again.